Hi everybody, it's Stacy from Quick Quotes, and I'm here today to walk you through our Club Q kits. So if you're a Club Q member, stay tuned with us because I'm going to walk you through step by step. If you are not a Club Q member and you're wondering what we're talking about, our Club Q is our monthly scrapbooking club where we send out brand new kits every single month, and they're exclusive to Club Q members for at least 3 or 4 months, so you get all the new stuff first. Each month you get 4 pages, so 2 double page layouts, plus you get an extra paper pack with ribbon, embellishments, quotes in it, an extra value each month. This is $32 a month and free shipping. So you get everything for $32, no extra shipping. If you were to sign up for Club Q, you also get free kits in your first shipment. So I will show you the kits here that you would get free if you were to sign up. And in your first shipment, we also send you 3 Powder Puff chalking inks free as well, plus a paper pack. So if you're not a Club Q member, check it out at shopquickquotes.com. and go to Club Q, and it'll show you the most current kit, and when you sign up we can ship it right out to you. And today we are going to go through step by step all of April's kits. So we have kind of a travel theme going, and we will get all set up. If you haven't purchased from Quick Quotes before, just so you know, we do Club Q, our monthly kit club, we do online live events, and we do in-person events, 3-day in-person events in the fall. So check out our website. If you have any questions, send us an email, give us a call, and we can get questions answered. But we are going to get started with April's Club Q kits. Okay, we are going to get started with our Club Q kit for April, and this one is called Adventure This Way. It's a fun travel one, road trip, any sort of travel, some fun bright colors. On the instructions here, we always suggest which Powder Puff chalking inks to use, but you do not have to use those. You use whatever colors work for you. Sometimes your pictures will match some other color, and there's lots of different blues you can use, lots of different oranges. You can also add in like barn board or maybe some other greens, yellows, lots of colors that you can work with here. So this one actually suggests pumpkin pie and navy. And I'm going to set this aside, but we are going to go through these instructions, and I'm not going to be super specific because you can see exactly what I'm doing here, and you can pause at any point to get yours either caught up or in place how you would like it to go. But these are the 2 pages that we will be finishing. And I'm going to move these out of the way and get my background pages set out here. So the 2 background pages, and then we will always do the cutting diagrams first, get any of the tricky cutting out of the way to begin with. I'm going to move my trimmer in here. And always on our kits, we have all the cutting instructions at the very beginning so that you know exactly what you need to cut. And I like to get that out of the way and have everything cut and ready to go. It also says punch out all laser die cuts. That is totally up to you. I tend to punch out a few to get started, and then I will leave the rest in there so that I'm not losing them throughout my project. But we will punch some of these out, and you go ahead and do whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to take these blue ones out here and get rid of this little scrap off my table. But I tend to get piles going, and then I end up losing something. So I keep the bigger lasers kind of intact until I need them. Okay, so we are going to And if you've done our kits before, you know that we always have some clear cutting diagrams. It's not often that we have to cut very much, but when we do, we try to make it very clear so you know exactly what needs to be cut. We are going to start with this multicolor stripe 12 by 12. Looks like this. And to start off with, these are specific to which side you need to cut because there are certain colors that we need to cut off that will go on page 2. So if you find this 12 by 12 paper, we are going to start cutting on the side that has the yellow here. So if you slide it into your trimmer, you can see we are going to cut off 1.5 inches. And basically, we're just going to cut to wherever. You don't have to measure exactly, but we are going to cut just on the other side of the blue strip here. So I'm going to pull it into that first blue strip, and it ends up being about just barely over 1.5. Barely. It's almost right on 1.5. And then we will trim that off so that you have the yellow, purple, orange, and blue strip. We're going to trim just after the blue. And this goes on page 2, so we're actually going to set this aside. And then you can see here, we actually skip the tan strip and we cut after the red strip. So we'll get the tan strip out of the way. We'll trim that one off. We don't even use that one. Move that one. Get rid of that one. Save it for later. Another project if you want to. And then we will move this into, it's little over maybe 3/4 of an inch, but you want to trim right after the red, the burgundy color stripe. Get this in here correctly. Okay, so you have these 2 strips. They are going to be used on page 2, so let's just set them aside for now. And it looks like you are going to have lots of leftover paper here you can use for extra photos or backers or whatever you want to use them for, but we are going to cut a 5 by 7. So let's turn our paper this way, and we are going to go to 5. Turn it one more time and go to 7, and then you have your 5 by 7. We will also set that aside for a minute. It does go on page 1, but we are going to set it aside until we get some of the other layers on there. This extra paper, use it for anything you want. Another page layout with Club Q, you always get an extra little pack of 5 or 6 sheets of paper. So enough to make maybe a whole nother layout. So save that to go with something there. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, the next cutting diagram is this pattern green paper. What did I do with mine? Let's find it here. Oh, here it is. It's flipped over. So we are going to use this diagram to cut pieces here. And we are actually going to start, oops, let's get that piece out of the way too. With these pieces here. So we want a 1 by 12, a 1 by 12, and then a 1 by 11, and we are going to cut that into a little banner that goes across here. So you cut little dovetails at the end. So right now we'll cut 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and then go from there. So actually I'll do it this way so you can see that I'm at 1 inch. Another 1 inch. And one more. 1 by 12. So 1 inch strip here. That we are going to, we'll set these two aside.
We're going to cut this one down to 11 inches. And actually, you know what? I'm actually not going to don't cut that one down. I'm going to later just do the dovetails on the end, and that'll cut off just enough to make it the length we need. And here comes a train. If you've ever taken our online live classes, you know that the train goes by often, and we thought it was going to be a problem, but instead of having it a problem, we started giving away prizes during our live events every time the train went by, because it's very loud in our warehouse. But it worked out pretty well. We give away a lot of prizes during the live events every time the train goes by. That was a short one. Okay, so we have 3 1-inch strips. We're going to set those aside. And the piece that we have left, we need a 9x9 out of that piece. So let's start there. I'm going to put it in this way to begin with, to 9 inches. And we'll just trim off that little, it's just a little bit that's left over from just the tiniest piece. Turn it this way and 9 inches. So you have a 9-inch square. This is going to go on page 1. We'll set it to the side here. And then what we have left is this piece, and we are going to cut small strips, 1/2 inch by 8.5. So let's actually cut this down to 8.5 to begin with. Again, we'll just cut a small portion off the end. You have 8.5. And then we will turn it, and we'll just cut a 1/2 inch strip, 1/2 inch strip. So put it in your trimmer, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And then all of our cutting is done. Everything else we have already die cut for you, and you just layer it all up. So that was easy. And again, if you are needing to catch up or anything, just hit pause and you can do yours at your own pace. So I'm going to set this diagram aside, and we are going to work on page 1. 3 strips here. Okay, let's get this to the side. We'll do page 1. Okay, to begin with, you have a sheet of die cuts, and you may have already punched all of yours out, which is great. I keep mine intact and just kind of use them as I go. Again, and I know I say this in every video, but if you see something that looks like a negative or garbage or trash, don't throw it away till the very end, because we tend to use like almost everything in the die cuts. Actually, in the papers, whenever we do a cutting diagram, we try to use most of it. This is a frame we're going to use on the first page. So we will take this frame out, and you may already have yours punched out, and we are going to start the first page with this frame. And again, this the 2 kits this month, they look like they have a lot on the page, which is awesome, but that's very simple. It's not tricky folds or anything. It's lots of just layering up stuff onto the page. Okay, we're going to start by putting your white frame down. And I'm not going to glue mine as I go. You know that you can glue this down. A lot of times you can get it all layered up and then glue it down later if you want to. But right now I am just going to lay mine out so that you know how it goes. And then you adhere things as you feel necessary. Also, the Powder Puff chalking inks, I am going to use, let's see, what do I have here? Lots of colors that can be used of this paper. I'm going to use Sunset and what's this one? And I'll use a little Baja Blue. This is a little more teal than what is in here, but adding all different colors with this is going to look good. So I will show you how to chalk things up kind of as you go. The powder puff chalking inks are a wet ink. Oops, I got blue on that one. A wet ink that goes on, it goes on wet, but it dries super quickly and it has a soft look of chalk. And we have many, many, many different colors. Our 2022 chalks were delayed quite a bit, which was a bummer, but we should have them any day now. So we have lots of colors to choose from. Super simple way to just add a little bit of color, a little bit of texture to your page. And again, I'm using Sunset. Pumpkin Pie is a really good color for this layout. Chunky Monkey, which is a yellow. That one was from our ice cream collection. That yellow would be really nice. Light Moss is a really nice green that would match this. Barnboard is a kind of a dark burgundy. That would be nice as well. Okay, so your frame goes onto your first page, and then from there we will just layer your, on top of that, your 9 by 9 green. And again, make sure that you are centering this. On top of that, you center the brown, that really deep, rich brown color. And from there, I'm going to start with our first laser cut. So this is a pretty, let's see, where's my... This one's a little bit delicate. This is a skinny one, so as you punch it out, be very careful. But it does kind of bend back into place if you need to. And what I do is use my glue pen, and I just put a few dots here and there, maybe on each point. And I am gluing this down just to show you what I do. Don't necessarily have to have glue across the whole thing. That goes right at the top of your center. That it goes in just maybe 1/4 of an inch. You just want it centered here on your brown piece of paper. Yeah, it goes in almost 1/2 inch on each side of the brown. And the tops of the scallop just touch the very top of the brown piece. Okay, and then you have your 2 green strips. These were the 8.5, 1/2 inch by 8.5. Those will glue right across here. And then about 1/2 inch up from the bottom of the brown. And I know some of you don't work in abouts. I completely work in abouts, but if you need to measure that out, you go right ahead. It's 1/2 inch up from the bottom. We always joke because half of us here at the office work in abouts and half of us work in exacts. And I am definitely one that works in abouts, for sure. Okay. Once you have that down, we are going to do the large photo mount there. So you'll need this piece. Did I forget to cut something? I lost my diagram. I thought I was so organized here. Oh, here it is. So I didn't realize this was a cutting diagram in the beginning, so I'm going to pull out my trimmer just one more time. I'm sorry about that. I usually try to get all the cutting done at one time. So you have a 5.5 by 12 sheet of paper, and we are going to cut at 7.5 inches to make this large photo backer for that. So add it into your trimmer. We're going to cut at 7.5. And then we need a 2 1/4 by 3 by 2 1/4 by 3. So we'll cut it at 2 1/4. And then I'm going to put them both together and then trim it at 3. Okay. Now we have all of our cuts done. Sorry about that. Try to get those out of the way first. Okay, so as you can see here, we need to add the stripe to the photo backer that we just cut. And sometimes I like to glue these together and then chalk it, and it kind of gets the edges of both. Actually, you know, I have a light moss here. I'm going to use this green. I really like this green. So once that's glued together, you can do the edge, and it does. Isn't that a pretty green color? And it kind of depends on what color pictures you know that you are going to put into your layout. If it has more blues, then maybe use more blue chalking inks. There's lots of different blues to choose from. But I really like this light moss. Okay, and then this glues 1/4 inch underneath the green strip. Okay, now back to we have 3 1" by 12 strips. 2 of them are going to stay 12 inches. This one we are going to cut some dovetails at the end, each end. An easy way to do that is to fold your corners together, and the paper will unfold. You don't have to crease it all the way. Just fold your corners together. I go in about maybe 1/4 inch and cut back towards your hand at an angle. You cut back towards your hand at an angle. When you fold that back out, it gives you a nice even dovetail. So again, on the other side, fold your corners together so that the green's showing. You don't have to crease. Go in about 1/4 inch. Trim towards your hand at an angle, and a nice dovetail. And this piece is going to go right across the bottom of your photo. So if you don't have your photos that you're putting in right now, what I would do is just put a little bit of glue on the ends. So you can slide a photo in behind that. If you glue this down, you're not going to be able to get a photo in behind that at all. And then from there, it is just layering the letters on. So you can see here, there is one arrow that goes across here. Oh, and you're going to want to use this, leave this as kind of as a pocket anyway, because your smaller pictures will go in there. And these look really cute when there is a picture behind it and it kind of circles the person in the picture. So we'll do these next. But the embellishments, I just kind of go by the picture. And again, I work in abouts a little bit, but placing these where, maybe don't glue this one down yet until you have your other little photo backers in place. Okay, and then as you can see here, these are backed by yellow. So we have a piece of yellow here that we are going to cut into two and a half by 3¼ So there, it's already at 2½. So we just want to turn it and cut at 3¼ See that? Put it in like this, 3¼ and you have two pieces the same size. These will get glued on the back here. And chalk them up all the colors. It's fun just to add color. I wondered if I have a barn board here. Yeah, here's a barn board right here. So this is kind of a burgundy red color. I'm gonna add that. This one makes it kind of bright. So if you want something a little toned down a little bit, I would use one of the blues or the greens. But I think this one's kind of fun. On my original, I used pumpkin pie, which makes it kind of an orangey color. But this is where you can kind of put your own touch to it. There's one with more orange in it. This one is Sahara Sand. This was a nice one that will work with this layout also. This makes it kind of a little bit, kind of a rusty yellow color. I think that one's really pretty. So you do you, and you just use whichever color matches your photos or that you feel you would like to use. Okay. So you have a whole sheet here, and they're all placed so that each color is the color that you need to layer it on. There is a white letter. There's a white letter for each letter here, so you just layer that up, spell the word adventure, and you can glue it right onto your piece here. Oops. And just spell out the word adventure. Same goes for this way, that layer is right on there. And again, be careful with this one. It's a little bit delicate coming out of there, but it does bend back into place. Your arrows go on after you find the photos that you want to put on here. Those look really cute after your photos are on there. So go ahead and layer up that first page. And if you want to finish that one, just go ahead and hit pause, finish that first page, and then you can move on to the second page. I am going to move on to the second page. Actually, you know, I'll leave this one kind of in the picture, and I'll just work on the second one right here. Okay, so to start the second one, here's the second page. We are going to start with out of your, so this was your white laser. I just accidentally tore mine apart. But you have, out of your big white laser, there is strips right here along the side. And you want to make sure and cut this all the way to the end because you're going to want two 12-inch strips. And that's what's going to go here. So go ahead and trim those out. And again, it goes all the way to the end, so you want a full 12-inch strip. I think this will actually just pull right apart. Okay. And if it has some of those little notches on there, you can just trim those. Trim those off as well. This one is garbage. So you have 2 skinny strips. We are going to set this to the side. Start on this side, just to the left of the airplane. We'll glue that one down. Next, we have the 1 by 12-inch green strip that will be glued down right next to it. And then we cut these in the very beginning. We will need the one with blue, orange, purple, yellow. That goes right next to it, straight up and down. And then we'll leave some space just to add photos. If you have your photos ready to go, you can go ahead and glue those down and then put the strips on the other side, because you may want to do your 6-inch, 5-inch, totally up to you, whatever you want to do for your photo size. Then you can glue these strips down on this side. So we put these 2 together. Once those are glued down, and you can, if you want to glue these down and just save it for later for pictures, then you can put pictures in later if you want to. But I found it easiest to put the pictures in and then start your strips just to the left of your pictures. So this is going to go right over top of that crease right there. And from there, you can see it's basically just layering from there, and you can go by the picture. In our picture, in our directions, we always try to put letters that kind of coordinate with the steps that you're doing over here. That's if you're doing it kind of on your own, reading through the instructions. If you're watching this video, you can kind of see that the order that things go in. But we try to make it very clear. If you are doing this on your own, you can kind of line these up with which step you're on here. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to do at home on your own. And especially in Club Q kits, we are trying to make it as easy as possible for you to get a lot done in 1 month with all the kits that you have shipped to your door each month. Okay, so from there, you can see the rest is just layering. The white goes first, and then the color pieces go on top. And you can just use your directions for kind of a loose guide on where to put things. We have 3 buttons just for a little decoration here. Another arrow that goes around once you get your photos on. You can put that on any one that it fits on. It just happened to fit perfectly on this adorable picture here in the middle. But you choose where you would like it to go. And pretty simple kit. I hope that helped you get through it quickly without having to read step-by-step instructions. And we hope you enjoy your Club Q this month. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to do this in both videos for both layouts because each month you get 2 double-page layouts. Next month, this is part of the kit that you will be getting. I love this teal color with the bright oranges, kind of a summery look. Getting towards the end of spring into summer for May. So look forward to that. And we hope you enjoy your kits every month. And thank you so much for being a Club Q member. If you are not and you are interested, go to shopquickquotes.com and click on Club Q and check it out because you get free kits when you sign up and you get lots of benefits with it as well. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.